Today's video, we're going to talk about STAG Google Ads. What is this STAG campaign structuring type? What it is, I'm going to explain to you in this video. And how these will make you more money in your account every single time that you set them up. So if you haven't heard of this or haven't deployed it yet, or deployed its cousin single keyword ad groups, then you absolutely want to stay and watch this video. If you're serious about making money with Google Ads, you want to go on to make literal millions of dollars a year running Google Ads for your business, which is totally possible. It isn't just a bunch of puffery here. This is really happening at our agency on an ongoing, regular basis when we set these up for clients and at our agency, Guaranteed PPC. I'm the owner of Guaranteed PPC, a PPC/advertising management agency that offers guaranteed results to clients. That is, more profitability from your ads or minimum profitability from your ads before you have to pay our agency any kind of management fees at all. We're the only agency on the planet that offers any kind of guarantee at all or anything like this, and of which I work directly with my clients and have been doing online marketing and advertising for close to 20 years now, 10 of which through the agency Guaranteed PPC by itself. So the information I'm presenting to you here comes from myself and a whole lot of experience setting up hundreds and hundreds of different accounts and understanding inside and out how the STAG single themed ad group setup works and how it performs, of which I'm going to tell you how to do it on this particular video, what the benefits are. If you stay to the end of the video, I'm also going to talk about the exact results that you can expect from it as well. So getting into the content, most services especially have many sub-services that the single keyword themed ad group type campaigns, if you structure them and you set them up, you'll benefit a lot from having this because different types of searches that you're going to get. And just to give you the example here that I have written here in the case study was for a veterinary. And with that veterinary clinic, there's many types of pets, for instance, just alone by itself, that people are going to bring in to the clinic that need serviced, if you will. And not only this, there are, within each pet, there's different services, particularly when you're talking about cats and dogs by themselves. There's different services that they need, vaccines, they need checkup, cesarean section services, on and on and on. So with that said, what the typical veterinary clinic is going to do, and advertisers are going to do, is they're going to go ahead and set up a campaign targeting vet services, vet near me, dog vet, cat vet, but they're going to pretty much put all their keywords into their campaign, and they're going to have one ad for everything saying, we do everything veterinarian, come to our clinic, and they're going to send them to their homepage. That is a recipe to get 5% of the profit you can out of Google Ads, if you're even going to make any money at all. In a space like that, yes, you can still make money because it's not as competitive. If you're in anything even slightly competitive, it's not going to be good enough to make money. It's going to bring in too much waste, and of the clicks you're going to get, they're going to be super high priced due to low quality scores. Google's not going to favor you. Therefore, the people that come through Google that they know is most statistically likely to turn into a customer, they're not going to try to click on your ad. You're not the one that they're trying to favor and get to stick around, which literally speaking, when you have better ad click-through rates and better conversion rates on your landing pages, they want to send the best, most likely to convert people to you as an encouragement to stick around and charge you the least amount of money for those prospect. Anyway, in the vet space, very typically at our advertising agency, the first scenario that I described where people just set up a few keywords or a bunch of keywords, if that, and one ad and one landing page to send them all to, that's the basic structure that most people do, particularly people that are just doing it themselves. They don't have an ad agency. They just want to spend 15 minutes setting up their ads and they're done. So with that said, typical scenario is, Corey, we're not getting enough results, or at least the results are not growing. I want you to come in and get more results. What can you guarantee in terms of results for us? We estimate that, we come in and we do the work, get those results, and then get our management fee on the back end. At least in the veterinary space, in this particular instance, because we were in a hurry, we set up the STAG campaign type, not single keyword ad group campaign type, which is something slightly different, where in the STAG campaign type, you would set up all the keywords for a vet related to birds would go into one ad group, so you can have a bird related ad and then it'd send them to the bird page on your website. A single keyword ad group campaign, which is what we do now 98% of the time because it works the best, it's going to get the best results. You're going to have, instead of just all the bird keywords in one ad group, you're going to have an ad group for every bird keyword by itself. Bird services, bird treatment services, bird vet services, all those keywords that we would target get their own unique ad and their own unique landing page. Or at least, the bird page itself, but ideally a page for each keyword as well, so the headline could match exactly what they typed in, because ultimately the best results lie with whatever they search on Google. You want that in the headline of the ad, the first headline, and you want that on the headline of the landing page, because it makes it as clear as possible to the user what it is you offer. You got it. With that said, this particular client had all their keywords in one ad group, one ad for everything. We went and broke it out by pet type and treatment type. The C-section for cats gets its own ad group, C-section for dogs gets its own ad group, and ad group for birds, given that the search variety for bird stuff isn't that involved. Or when people are searching for a specific bird treatment, we would actually still have its own ad group. That's the level which we broke things down here, so you understand what's going on and the results that we're getting, and that whether you're going to get these results for yourself. That is what we did, and that is basically what a STAG campaign setup is. You theme your keywords, you put them into their own unique ad group, so you can have a custom ad for those keywords that are associated with that basic theme, and then hand pick the best page on your site to send them to. With that said, the difference between just having all the keywords in one ad group and then using that STAG campaign setup, we got a 120% increase in CTR, which if that doesn't sound significant, it's huge, because you're going to earn multiple ways off that. You're going to get more market share, yes, but you're going to get lower cost per click, way lower, like 50% less. And you're going to, like I was saying before, you're actually going to get a higher quality person to your site as a whole, because Google reserves the people that they know is statistically likely to convert into a customer for their best advertisers that they want to encourage to stick around. And they kind of know who's likely to become a customer, who's not, because they study everything people do on Google forever, and they database it, and they see people that are a customer versus not, and they can tell a number of different ways. The person they want to encourage to stick around because they're providing the best experience to their users, gets people and encourages them to want to click on ads in the future. They give the person that's most likely to convert to that person. So you're going to earn multiple ways by getting your click-through rate up, bottom line here. It also gave us a 185% increase in conversion rate. Granted, though, partially because we got custom landing pages for each theme or group. So if somebody was searching for C-section for a dog, we had a landing page just for that. And when I say just for that, it doesn't have to be that complex. You can have one landing page template. Essentially, all that changes is what we call the hero image and the headline. That's it. And that is going to get you most of the way of these results here. And that's all we did here. We didn't have everything on the page custom for C-section for dogs, where that technically would get us the most results. But you always got to obviously decide how far you're going to go with it. Because if we would have had all the copy on the landing page, C-sections for dogs and how long they take and the typical price that they are, and potential complications, it will convert better. But because we're the only person in the entire area that even has a custom ad for C-section for dogs and a custom landing page for C-section for dogs, we're already good enough. Your goal, to put things into perspective here, is to do better than all your competition by a factor of 2. If you've already done that with the level of detail you're providing here, customers or prospects, you don't need to go any further, because that's basically already good enough. Now, you still will get more of a return going further all the way here. Totally unique page, unique copy for every single service, every single, that needs service, as I was talking about with the vet example. But you're only going to get a little bit more results. You have diminishing returns. Whereas if you have competition who's already got a landing page for dog C-section, then the way that you win is you create better page, more custom copy. If I haven't said it clearly enough, if you're in a competitive market, that is, there's other people advertising for what you want to advertise for and get the customers that you're going for. For the most part, 80% of the people that are advertising right now aren't going to make any money after expenses. They might get sales, but after the cost of the ad spend, after the cost of delivering that service or product, they're not at breaking. And whereas 20% are making a profit and making most of the money, or making all the money, I should say. Why? Because Google gives you so much benefit of being in that top 20% that it takes that just to be able to make it work. That is massive reduction in cost per click, a massive increase in conversion rates because traffic quality is better. So with that, you just got to look at the competition, see what they have, understanding that the easier you help them decide you are the right vendor for them, the more that they're going to do business with you. Because when there's 4 ads at the top of Google, you got to they got to see your ad and say, that's the most obvious ad to click on. Not some of the time, but like basically all of the time. Well, majority of the time, we'll say. And then when they get to the landing page, they got to say, this is clear and concise, and I understand that you do what I need you to do within a few seconds. Otherwise, you're going to take a hit on the conversion rates. A lot of people are going to go back to Google to click on something else. Google is going to notice it and then not give you the benefits of the lower cost per click, the better quality people, and so forth. So your goal is to look at the competition, what's there, decide how much work you have to put in to do better than them. And if you do, you're going to get all the rewards. You're going to make all the money in the space that you're in. So what's it going to take to do that? Generally speaking, in most markets, people aren't even going to do a STAG setup. If they are doing a STAG setup, they're not going to do a STAG setup where it's literally an ad group for every keyword. That's all it takes for you to be able to make literally millions of dollars a year in sales and profits at your company. That is, once you've set it up, you've broke it in, you've scaled it up. Anyway, that gives you an idea of how much can be done here. And if you increase the conversion rate 185%, by the way, you're going to get, again, a massive decrease in your cost per click due to how Google's quality score system works. With that, you're just also going to earn multiple ways. Just by doing this one thing, you can be in the top 20% of advertisers. It's necessary to make money in your market, decently or hyper-competitive market. If you're not in a competitive market, you could just do the bare minimum and make money. But generally speaking, where there's money to be made, there's competition, right? So everybody knows what Google Ads is. To really make it work, though, on the STAG campaign setup type, you need to have the custom landing pages to go along with everything that you're setting up, at least with the headlines and hero image to be customized, because that's what really gets them to work right. So you can't just have a unique ad and send them to the homepage and expect the results I'm talking about here. You need the custom landing pages. So what I'll do is I'll set up a unique landing page and then take that template, make it for every ad group. Each landing page, for the most part, all we do is customize the headline and what we call the hero image, which is the image at the top of the page, to be relevant to the ad group, and we're already going to get really good results from that. Yes, you could customize the rest of the content on the page, like I said, but unless your competition's already got a STAG set up, you really generally don't even need to even do that. If it's a local service campaign to go along with it, we're going to create one landing page for each city that is in our metro area that we're targeting in our service area, if that applies. If we're doing a national service, we're going to have one campaign for each state so that the user always knows we cover their area. And we're going to have the state name in the ad and the landing page. That makes a huge difference in the click-through rate and conversion rates again. But that's the basic premise of the setup that you need. That will basically put you in the top 20% every time in your market. Very few markets, I don't care how competitive it is, will have more than 20% of the people doing a STAG setup. And if they are, they're not going to do the custom landing pages for everything. So you'll be in the top 1% doing exactly what I'm telling you to do here. Naturally, that's the setup that should be able to put you in the top 20% every time. Along with that, though, as a quick word about tracking, you also have to track all your results, because a good foundation, a good ad, a good landing page that'll do better than your competition. While Google can kind of tell people are satisfied with what you have to offer them on Google, through your ads, through your landing page, through your sales funnel, want to set up the tracking to track every lead, every form, and ideally, if you're generating leads, also every sale. And then feeding that information back to your Google Ads account for Google to look at to get you more results. Because with their machine learning systems, they're going to analyze who bought, who didn't buy, or who turned into a lead and who didn't turn into a lead, figure out why, because they look at every user and the thousands of individual traits that person has. That is, how old they are, where they're at, what websites they visit, what do they like, what's their interests, and they look at that and they correlate that information with people who buy versus don't buy. And they get smarter and smarter in understanding who your ad should show up for and who it shouldn't. Because ultimately, for what you think you should show up for, there's really 30% of it that you should show up for. The other 60% aren't buyers, and you weed out that 60%, and then other people that are left upregulate your bid for those people, so you show up 99% of the time, and that's where the really, really, really good returns come from. But you can't get it if you don't feed in data about what was successful for you and where it wasn't, or at least most of the results that you could get. Because naturally, Google can tell if somebody clicks back to Google, it clicks on something else, and they weren't satisfied. But ultimately, I'm not playing. I want to not screw around. I want to get these results. I'm not going to go through all the effort of setting up this STAG setup and then not give them the data that tells them not only just what to do and what to do more of and what to do less of, but this is a really, really good setup. Get to the point of rewarding me for it, coming to the table with it sooner, because I'm telling you that it's working. You're not having to guess on your end that it really is satisfying your user. So if you go through, in other words, all the trouble to satisfy users more than your competition, set up the last bits of it so that they know that you're satisfied. And you're going to get to the end result you want sooner in the process than you would otherwise. If you want somebody to set up a stag setup that actually knows what they're doing, I encourage you to hire our firm. I work directly with my clients at our firm, and we guarantee results for you. We're going to get you to a certain ROI with what you're doing before there's a fee. That's our signature service. You can reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com, and I'll give you an estimate of what we can guarantee for you. Beyond that as well, if we've worked in your niche market, you can take our templates. If you're a vet before, we can sell you the campaign, ad, and landing page templates that get us a set result already in your niche market already in a different geographic area that you're in. And you can just copy paste that into your own ad account and get the same results we're getting with none of the time, effort, and money it took to get those results. We also sell the templates though as well. And we got people using these templates, by the way, to start whole other businesses. If you wanted to get into e-commerce, didn't know anything about it, because you got such a great ad template to sell a known commodity product in that space, you could easily get into that market. And it's like having a business on training wheels. Anyway, if you're interested in that kind of thing, or we got people taking these templates, they're selling the leads because we're able to generate leads at such a low cost, they can mark up the cost of the lead and sell it to people in that space. We got several people doing that alone. If you're interested in our templates, you can, of course, inquire. Or at least we can tell you the results we got in your space, what the template would be, what we would charge for the template, and you can just decide for yourself if you want the template or not, or just go spend all the time to set up your own campaign to learn what we have, which, to be frank, there's no way that you're going to figure it all out for yourself cheaper than what we're going to provide the template to you for, given it most of the time took us years to get to the ROI that we're getting in your market through many, many, many split tests. That said, beyond that, what pretty briefly over stag setups, what it actually takes to get results, mainly because I didn't want this video to go on for too long. That said, if you want to know the inner workings and details of a stag setup, and the better version of this, which is a skag setup, which I really actually recommend you use, you should just subscribe to this channel, research and watch the videos that I put out, because I talk about these setups all the time, because I use them on every single campaign I build, because they get so much more results and they get predictable results. It's not a matter of if we will make money, it's just a matter of how long do we have to wait for Google to recognize how good our ads are. So you should subscribe to this channel. You should also check out my blog at guaranteeppc.com/blog. The blog has step-by-step advice on the campaigns that we run for clients to guarantee the results. You can copy paste those strategies into your own ad account and get the same results for yourself. All that information is obviously free as well. If you're looking for the information alone, it's not a secret. It's all out there on our channel, on our blog, and coming from somebody who spends 40 hours a week doing ad testing and strategy for dozens of ad accounts I'm responsible for getting results with, versus most of the information you see on YouTube and online is coming from people selling courses that don't run any ads themselves at all. And it's all just a fugazi, literally speaking. It's very rare to get somebody who's like myself that their full-time job is to do ad strategy that also produces content. So you should recognize that most of the information is crap. Therefore, if you're going to subscribe to anything, you subscribe to this at the very least first, or in addition to what you're doing. Wherever else you're getting information from. And then with that, if you have any questions about anything I covered here, you can obviously leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. I love to get back to my viewers as a way of saying thank you for watching the channel and getting the channel to grow. Want to set up a skag setup? The more time and detail you put into it, the more results you're going to get out of it. The more you spend on your ad to write good ad, have a good ad, that is, you break out your keywords into many subcategories. So instead of using 3 or 4 different keyword categories, you use 15. More results you're going to get because your ad's going to be more relevant. The more effort you put into the landing page, that is, actually set up landing pages and have one for each one of those categories, the more results you're going to get. The more time you put into it, the more results you're going to get. But your goal is to just smash the user experience that your competitors are providing by at least a factor of 2, as if your life depended on it. And if you do, you will make so much money with this, with your Google ads, that you'll just know that was possible later on, and for what you thought starting out, how this actually works. So it can be either you make no money with Google ads or you make millions, and there's very little gray area in the between, because you have that 20% makes all the money, like I said. And the guys that you see spending so much money in your space now that spend $50,000 a month, they all started out spending $3,000 a month. They figured out how to get that profitable. Then they went to 4, and then 5, and they started with the foundation of actually where they're providing more to Google's users. They want to find somebody who can do it better. For people that don't do it as good, they don't care about you. Basically, at the end of the day, they don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to afford to keep advertising. They don't need just every person. They need 2 or 3 people who do a really good job as an advertiser, and that's basically it. And the other people are just cycled in to see if there's somebody that can actually do better. But for the most part, they're not needed, and because that doesn't get people to want to click on ads in the future if they just constantly search. So people will learn ad, never click on them, and then they would. So with that said, hopefully that made a lot of sense. I'll wrap it up with that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Remember when I said custom landing pages was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.